Okay. Let's get some sound check out here while we ready up. Oh boy. Ay, muerte. Okay. Alright, apparently this thing is supposed to help against ops. Hello, 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 hello. Oh, right, get that set up. That looks good. Gonna do a little test. Get my trash out of the way. Stream videos. See how this sounds. Take out my earplugs because I'm not really using these. Where's this new video? There it is. Okay, we're gonna turn this up just a little touch. Apparently this video does not just... Okay, how about now? We are recording, we are looking at things, we are carving. Nope, that's bad. Okay, we're gonna go over here. Hold on. Who goes outside? Get this more. Okay, we are recording. We are recording. This is my voice. This is my voice. It is definitely scratchy. Down this, turn up this, turn it up just a little bit. Start recording now. Okay, how is this sounding? Start now. Okay, how is this sounding? Fucking garbage. Why is this sounding so bad? Okay, how about now? How is it sounding now? How is it sounding now? How is it sounding now? Why is this mic acting up? Why is this mic acting? It's doing some weird stuff, and I'm not really sure why. I'm not sure why it's doing anything. This seems odd for it. Okay, how is this sounding? How is this sounding? is this sounding? How is this sounding? Gravelly. Turning it down just a touch. How is this sounding? How is this sounding? Bringing it back. Is this sound? Is this sounding? Okay, we're gonna try it. Oh, I'm sorry, stream. This is no good. How is this sounding? How is this sounding? Beep bop beep bop boop. Is this sounding? This is sounding. How about now? When I am this far away, when I turn this down anymore, it seems like there is... Aloha! Hello-ish. I am working on my microphone right now because it is acting up something weird. So, give me a second. While I try something out. I wonder, and I wonder if I know what it means. Okay, now hear this. Now hear this. You sound good? Alright, well, on my side, it's coming back really grainy, but maybe this will help a bit. Getting no sound now. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to keep trying to work on it for one more second, but it is 6:02 and it is time to start this dang thing, and this is going to be my last chance to work on this. Before we start the stream, I don't know where these videos are going now because I just don't. It just kind of stopped showing up where I thought it would show up. And that is odd. Well, now there's no sound coming out. Okay, can people hear me? Can people hear me through the microphone of this microphone? Hopefully the answer is yes, and not no. I'm gonna take that as a yes. We're good. No response. I gotta wait 30 seconds. But once I wait that 30 seconds, then there's gonna be an awkward pause because then I have to start. And then it's gonna be another 30 seconds. So I'll just be kind of talking here. Like this. 30 seconds. Unknowing. Why it's not coming through. I don't know why it's not going through. Yes, okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Alright, today we are talking about the bunnies and the hares and the rabbits of Joshua Tree National Park. In particular, we're going to be talking about jackrabbits. Jackrabbits are going to be Oh boy, I'm not set up for this tonight. I am sorry. Okay, Jackrabbits. They're right here. Jackrabbits are going to be the knights of my chessboard. I also crushed my finger in a garage, and I'm sorry that you'll have to see that. I'm nasty. They're going to be the knights of my chessboard, and I think it's a appropriate fit, as knights are known for jumping around the board, and jackrabbits are known for jumping around the desert. If we are talking about that tonight, if you were here last week, we talked about snakes and all the interesting things that snakes do in the desert, and we had a competition, and that competition was for this little honey badger. I have not finished carving it, but it is coming along. It's got its little toes up front, kind of hard to see in this particular video, but got toes, got a tail, got a little nose. Once I finish carving it, I'm gonna sand it smooth, and then I am going to yes, it is rabbits, and then I'm gonna send it off to you, Tim, because you were the winner of last week's competition. So share this video, because this week we are competing for chopsticks. I think that might be my internet. It has been acting up recently. This last few days, something's going on. Maybe all the wind that's out here. And so if the video cuts out, I apologize. I have no control over the internet. But this week's competition is going to be similar to last week's. I have written down a few questions in regards to bunnies, rabbits, and hares, and you are going to give your best answer to those questions. It was kind of difficult in the last chat section to go through and get everyone's answers, so my request is that at the end of the video, if you are sticking around, be sure to just type all 4 of your answers into one column. Okay, with that sorted, I'll wait for a few more people to join. The award is chopsticks, and again, I'll be using this beautiful glove, which has saved my thumb already a few times. You can kind of see here that it's a bit frayed, and that's because I have cut into it with my knife a few times, and this has been saving me so much. Thank you for the gift. Wait, how to put your answer in? It's just, you can answer in the chat, and then at the end of the video, put all 4 of your answers into one comment so that I can go back and I don't have to go through and find all of your comments. Okay, it is time to begin. I got my notebook. Going to start. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Tuesday. Getting some tacos, getting some food, and whatever else you like to do on your Tuesdays. For me, it has been a day of building chairs, building rocking chairs, building cutting boards. Yeah, it's doing its job. That's what we hope out of Tuesdays. They are doing their job. How'd he win? He answered the most amount of questions correctly out of the sheet that I had written down what answers I chose, which was 4 out of 5. To yours ish, which was 3 out of 5. So just edged you out. Okay, I'm gonna start this off because I'm already running behind with our first quiz question. And this quiz question, yeah, you haven't even learned anything about bunnies yet, but here we go anyways. Okay, the first question Well, the first quiz question is, where do rabbits go when they are not feeling well? Think about puns. It's going to be very helpful in this one. If you say the vet, that probably will not get you a point. So we're going for puns on this live show. Where do rabbits go when they are not feeling well? All right, and with that, we are getting to the stream. Okay, Jackrabbits. The Jackrabbits are they're a desert rabbit. Well, they're not actually a rabbit. Let's start with that. So unlike bunnies that we find at Petco or different domesticated animals, jackrabbits are actually hares. And a few of the things that distinct jackrabbit from a hare are that it cannot be domesticated. Jackrabbits, though people have tried, are not animals that like to be domesticated. The hop spittle. The hair spittle. Jackrabbits do not like to be domesticated. So it's actually a pretty common thing within most hares is that they don't like anything touching them. They're not even really a fan of the environment touching them. They will burrow in areas. Oh, my door's not closed. That's why it's so freaking hot in here. Oh, there we go. Okay, they will burrow. Well, they won't burrow. They will nest in thickets in grasslands, but they will not burrow, partially because they do not like the feeling of being surrounded by anything. So that makes them bad domesticated animals. And in this, when they do feel things around them, they tend to get anxious and they tend to get bitey. And jackrabbits do have kind of a mighty bite. They can bite enough strength to actually chew through bone. So part of their defense mechanism is their ability to bite down very hard and break and chew through bones. So people that have tried to domesticate them have, in fact, lost fingers because the jackrabbit was just not having it and decided that instead of getting pet, it was going to chomp on. So, jackrabbits, they don't make good pets. Another difference between jackrabbits and our friendly rabbits is, like I said, where they choose to nest. Jackrabbits are typically above ground critters. They don't like to go underground. They avoid that. And it shows in their habitat, it shows in their lifestyle. But they are more open ground, prairie desert animals. Unlike bunnies and rabbits that will be found in all types of environments, hares, jackrabbits typically are only found in desert environments. It is more about the heat, the difference in weather, and also the wide open spaces for it to run. Jackrabbits are extremely good runners. They are fast, they're smart, and their small but nimble body really does do well in these large open areas. Okay, did everyone answer? You are also welcome to answer your best answer in the chat because this is kind of, they're meant to be puns and jokes. So if you did think of something funny to answer to the question, where do rabbits go when they're not feeling well, feel free to answer in the chat. Just please, at the end of the video, put all your answers once again into one cohesive text for me to read. So, Jackrabbits. 15. Oof. I really slowed down on this verse a little bit. So we're kind of talking about what the difference between jackrabbits and bunnies and rabbits are. Both rabbits and jackrabbits are found in deserts, but the difference is that jackrabbits just cannot live in other places other than deserts because they need that high temperature, they need those cool winters, they need those open grounds. They won't do well in areas like forests, woods. They would do okay in prairies, but their larger predators are snakes and birds, coyotes, stuff like that. And forests don't really do well when their main ability is to be able to turn really fast in open areas to basically confuse their larger prey. Forests are a place where they can get cornered, and they have not been able to survive there, and they don't survive there. I've never heard of a family of jackrabbits ever move into the forest, but I'm sure it would not go well. Another interesting thing that differentiates jackrabbits from our friendly little bunnies is that jackrabbits are just a meaner kind of breed. Although they are herbivores, they do also eat meat. It's rare, but they can get nutrients and digest meat. And it's typically, weirdly enough, they're predators that they eat. They don't kill off the predators that they're eating, but they do tend to stick to the carry-on of the predators that have died, that typically are predators to them. There's not many recorded cases of jackrabbits eating meat, but it does happen. And I'm not sure why it is the predators, or I don't really have a good guess on that. If someone has a guess in the comments, it might just be a vindictive thing that they do. But they can eat meat. And it's usually in times of desperation for them because of their diet, which is mostly herbs, mostly grasses, and in desert environments where sometimes that can be in scarce supply, they will just eat whatever they can, which seems to be a common trait within the desert animals, is that they are very opportunistic. Just like everything else, you kind of have to take what you get and make the best of it. If you see carry on the ground and you miss it, that might be the difference between life and death for a lot of these animals that live out here. So they take their opportunities, eat what they can eat. We're coming along here, giving it some definition, some little legs in the front of it, trying to narrow down that nose, try to get the ears looking kind of nice. Don't want to take away too much from the legs. I also want to try to give it some back feet. The back feet is one of the most important parts of the jackrabbit. They have extremely strong back legs. Vengeance. You know, nothing says vengeance more than eating the creature that has been preying on you for your entire life. So, you know, as they are mean little creatures, I would not be surprised if it was vengeance that drove these animals to being so mean. So maybe not something to do with vengeance, but something that they have adapted well. Just like other bunnies and other hares, they have very powerful back legs. Back legs are there to propel them forward when they run and also when they jump. Something that jackrabbits are known for is when they are navigating away from prey, they do these kind of large jump zigzag formations, and these can be anywhere from 4 to 10 feet, usually in very quick succession. And this is one of the adaptations that jackrabbits have developed over their time on this earth, is the ability to move and pivot their body extremely quickly. A lot of their prey is pretty much one directional or has a lot more mass to them, so they have a lot harder time turning. Like coyotes, when they're running, they can't just make a dead stop, pivot 90 degrees. Or birds, when they're diving, they typically can't just hit the air brakes and turn. So jackrabbits have kind of made this serpentine navigation to avoid their prey. So that is part of the way that they survive out there. They can jump up to 10 feet, and they have a max speed of about 40 miles per hour. Alright, I'm happy with that. I think I'll give it some definition right up here, maybe separate its feet a little bit. How this one turned out. So while I focus on this. See, it's when I do this little move, I typically slice and finger, but this glove has been saving me so many times. I get injured enough in my shop doing silly things like crushing garage doors on my fingers or dropping chisels and stuff like that. Let's do not more. That's bruises. And so this helpful. Okay, Ish, what do you guys say? That's no ordinary rabbit. That's the most foul creature Devon rodent I've ever seen. Look at the rabbit's vicious streak. Mile wide. It's a killer python. Yeah, I would say that most rabbits are pretty docile. The jackrabbit is just mean. I think it is a good competitor to our honey badger over here, who doesn't give a fuck, but our jackrabbit does and is pissed off about it. So, don't get on its bad side. Or just don't get on its side at all, because it seems like the jackrabbit only has a bad side. Okay, we're moving on. Let my hand dry out for a second. We're moving on to the second question of the night. It is 6:23, and that is quiz question number 2. Okay, oh, damn. Sorry about that. I don't know why it got so loud. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. Weird. Okay. I just realized something. This is extremely loud when I have this different audio input, and I wonder if there's some setting that I touched on the first one that is messing up my regular stream settings. Anyways, the question is, what is a rabbit's favorite type of music? A rabbit's favorite type of music? Hip-hop. Nice. Okay, a rabbit's favorite type of music. Oh, feel a little low energy. A lot of work. Projects that. But wow, okay, so there is some weird setting going on. Sorry about that, I just turned that all down. I am going to adjust one thing real quick, and maybe we can get this working. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I may have made it worse. I'm sorry. Um. Da, 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 da. This time we're going for puns, Bambo. Yeah, sorry. No, we're doing puns today. That is funny. Okay. Hopefully the sound is a little bit better. All right. Gonna have to go back in time a little bit. And oh man, this one's a little bit chunky. We got a little chunky rabbit. This one's been eating good. It's been eating its enemies. Probably doesn't have any enemies left at this point. So good on you, little rabbit. Okay, we're gonna try to get rid of its little feet here. Hopefully not get too crazy with it. Sounds good. All right, we are good. Okay, perfect. Don't want to chip through the wood. Just want to chip through the section that I didn't cut well. I should really bring a small artisanal saw in here just to get these small pieces. I mix up sometimes. You can't even see it in the camera. There's this little chunk right here that I'm trying to chip off, and it's blocking where the feet are. I've cut through a little bit, but it's just not wanting to pop off. Oh, okay. Alright, guy. So what happened was I was a little bit too aggressive with it, and I peeled off a little bit of the wood there. I'll come back with super glue later. But for now, got it. There it is. Good. Alright, this rabbit's going to have huge feet. And that's going to be okay, little bunny. Sometimes rabbits just have big old honkers. Okay. Alright, so what are we on? Jumping the zigzags 10 feet, rapping easily startled, speed, camo. So they do have a lot of advantages that they use for surviving. They are not, though they do eat meat, they are not. It's actually a horn-driven fuck. Though they do eat meat, they are not predators in any sense of the word. They are prey. In the ecosystem of the deserts, they just exist pretty much to be eaten and to fertilize the ground through their poop. But the problem is, like I said earlier, they do not get a lot of nutrients. They eat mostly grass, and they have to graze for about 8 hours a day. And because of that, they also eat their own poop, which is probably just another way that you gotta survive. And though you do have to take your opportunities as they come in the desert, that seems a step too far. So, sorry, Jackrabbit, I do not agree with your survival tactics. But they do that, and they don't seem to mind it much at all. What else? Oh, wow, I really did mess this one up. Okay, this piece is just peeling off. My bad. Okay, so they survive and they are predators, but they do have a few defense mechanisms, along with their ability to hide, which is their fur, their eyesight, but they can also bite very hard, part of the ability to chew through bones, chew through meat, and they also are one of the few hares that know how to punch. Kind of similar to kangaroos, kind of similar to boxers. Hey, thanks, Steven. Kind of similar to boxers. They stand... Boxers and kangaroos. Yeah, boxers stand on their hind legs, their back legs, and they kind of just cock their arms back and launch them forward. And they do this to fend off other jackrabbits. When they're looking for a mate, they do that to kind of boast and show off a bit, and they'll do it to other predators that are trying to attack them. They will actually punch them, which I'm sure is pretty surprising in the animal kingdom, to be punched by another animal that's not a human. But that is one way that they do defend themselves out in nature. And they do need to defend themselves a lot, because they're the bottom of the food chain. They are the things that are getting eaten by most of the prey. And they also do not burrow, which is a big problem for them. So unlike bunnies and rabbits that burrow under the ground, which is relatively safe against other predators that can't find them, jackrabbits burrow they don't burrow, they nest in different kind of grass fields or inside trees or the bottom of small shrubs. And because of this, when they do have babies, the babies are able to run, jump, and see within a few hours of being born, because often within a few hours of them being born, they need to be able to run away from prey. Their babies are called leverites, which kind of sounds like a very ancient name. It reminds me of Leviathans, which is a biblical crazy monster creature. I'm not really too sure about them. It's just a name I've heard before. And yeah, they are just able to start moving very soon after they are born. And the jackrabbits will only have about 1 to 6 babies every year, unlike rabbits, which will have 5 to 20 every year. Sometimes there has been reported more, but that is typical roost for little bunnies. Don't know why I'm still going with this one. I'm going to have to redo it or find some way to fix it, but I'm going to keep carving anyway. Oh, can you guess what the male and female names are for jackrabbit males and jackrabbit females? In the comments below. Yeah. Oh, that's too much. Okay. If you are just joining this chat, we have been having a competition of puns where I am putting up questions on the screen, and your job is to answer them, and if you get all of them or more of them than someone else, or more of them than everyone else, then you will be getting these beautiful, one-of-a-kind chopsticks in the mail. Gotta find the right angle. And they will be coming to you free of charge just for being a lovely listener of this show and dealing with me tonight while I am just a little bit sleepy. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Rabbits. That is a good guess, but not quite, because this is not a rabbit. Jackrabbits are not rabbits. Jackrabbits are hares, which is a tricky name, and also just a huge misdirect. So Jackrabbits got their name Jackrabbits even though they're hares, because the original people that discovered them thought they were a weird mix of rabbits and donkeys. So we have jackass, which comes from its ears. People thought the ears came from a donkey, and then rabbit because it looked like a rabbit. And that's where it got its name, Jackrabbit. Buck and does. Good guesses, good guesses. The actual name for jackrabbit males and females are Jacks being the males and Jills being the females. And the babies do not have denominations or whatever for their gender. They are just Levartes. Okay. Flipping the page. We are over halfway through, and that is good because I am halfway through my notes. Okay, 6:37. We are moving on to the next question of the night. This one was not a pointed question, so don't worry too much about it. All right, quiz question number 3. Okay. What do you call a transformer bunny? What do you call a transformer bunny? Not like an energy transformer, like a transformer. Robots in disguise kind of transformer. And with that, back to carving. Alright, I gotta start moving through these bunnies. I want to eventually get this chessboard out and get it off my dining room table. But for that, I do need to finish actually carving the critters themselves. And I do wonder what I am going to talk about once I finish carving this whole set. There are only so many animals out in the desert. I guess I do have about 20 more shows that I can do, but not a lot of them are going to be chess piece related unless I come up with a different set for chess pieces or do just 2 opposing animal sets depending on the color of the pieces. Mega Hair VW Optimus Hair VW it's good. Is this in frame? Yeah. Sir. Oh, well, this is a big bunny. Okay, so we got our jackrabbit, and as I said, jackrabbits only live in desert environments, and there are only 4 deserts that the jackrabbit live in. They're only found in North America, and they are found in the deserts of the Great Basin, the Mojave, um, the Chihuahuan, and the Sonoran, which is really most of the like major deserts out in North America, and they make up a lot of the pretty much northwest, southwest, middle, Optimus Prime, Bunny Bot. All good. All good stuff. Okay, I'm liking this. I like the pun questions. I thought the last quiz last week was a little too abstract. You know, I'm still trying to find my footing in the quiz questions, but I'm liking the pun ones. I might continue with just the apples to apples, Cards Against Humanity, funniest answer. I do have what I wrote down. You old bag of balls. Just to think I'm answering sober. Other two others in the chat. Hey, it's okay. Yeah, I was not super fan of the way that the questions went on the first one, so I'm liking this more, trying to get a feeling for what kind of questions I can ask, and also how can I objectively point these points. Yeah, which is weird in comedy-based answers, but it takes time to sort that kind of stuff out. Alright, we got a bunny. It's got feet over here. It's got feet over there. It's got big toes. And I just gotta cut out the middle here, and we will be good to go on this one. Yeah. Okay, maybe not. That's gonna be something I'm gonna have to drill out. No. Oh, ouch. Ooh. Oh, boy, it's already 6:42. Okay. All right. So, one of the big differences between... Another big difference, I know I say that all the time about all the animals that I have and talk about, the difference between bunnies and rabbits, because it's just an easy way to talk about what makes jackrabbits so special, is relating it to something that we know, is that they have those big old ears. And that is actually an adaptation that they have developed for living in these really hot, harsh environments. And so, unlike bunnies, which burrow underneath the ground to stay cool, jackrabbits will always stay above ground. And because of this, they have to find ways to cool their bodies. And so, if you remember way back when we were doing the Roadrunner, they stayed cool pretty much by like hibernating, and then they warmed themselves up by exposing their skin. So jackrabbits kind of developed the same way that elephants did. And so inside their ears are a bunch of blood capillaries all throughout their ears. And their body, as their blood heats up, it naturally filters up through their ears and pretty much acts as if it is a radiator for their body. And so as cool air comes through, it cools the capillaries, and then as the blood cools, it recirculates back into its body, and this way it can temperature regulate in areas that are known for being more windy and more hot, which is I know that the Great Basin, I know the Mojave and the Sonoran. I have never been to the Chihuahuan, or I don't really know it that well, but I know that those are some windy, breezy deserts. And so, because of that, the jackrabbit is able to stay cool in the hottest of environments because it has a built in radiator. Something that I wish I had out here, but I do not have a built in radiator. I have a swamp cooler. Anyways, so that is how they stay cool out here in the deserts. Yeah. Any questions so far about our little friend the jackrabbit? If I don't know the answer, I'm just going to make it up if you do have questions. But I might be able to answer if you do have questions. Because I've been talking a lot. In fact, I've been talking for almost 45 minutes. But I'm going to continue to carve. Try to finish this set. What else? They got their strong legs, they got the big ears, they got the eyes, they got the feet, and they also have a nose. Like so many of us do. Yeah, the jackrabbit's nose. I don't know if anyone that I know has ever been up close and personal with a jackrabbit, partially because they are the meanest creatures on the face of the planet, but if you do get up close to them or have a really nice camera that you can zoom in and look close to them, their nose is always twitching. So he's kind of like bouncing up and down, back and forth, side to side. What is the airborne speed of a killer rabbit? You're going to have to ask someone in the chat what terminal velocity is, because I'm pretty sure it's the same speed as that. Do they raise babies as a couple? Yes and no. They will nest together, but they are not monogamous creatures. They kind of just bounce around rabbit to rabbit and do their rabbit thing. Yeah, it's not like other animals on this list that are more loyal to each other. Rabbits don't really see it like that. They're just rabbits. Well, they're not rabbits. They're hares. Hey, got by my own quiz question. They're not monogamous. They do raise the baby, but also like not really, because they don't really have to raise the baby. The baby kind of just pops out, and an hour later, it is living its own life, doing its own thing, making its own way in the world. Which is kind of crazy that is an evolutionary trait. They don't really raise them. They don't train them. Yeah, well, are you always sniffing out prey? Because that is the reason why jackrabbits or noses are always twitching. It's basically kind of like other animals. They do have their own sense of radar, and so they're moving their nose, their nostrils are kind of like going and looking all over, and as the wind is moving towards them, they can sense the minute differences in sense, and they can get an idea of where the creature is. It's not just downwind, it's downwind in exactly one direction. And because of that, they're able to better focus their attention, but this is their main method of detecting predators, which leaves them very vulnerable if something is the other direction. But part of the reason why they have their ears in kind of a outward way and not forward is the ability to also hear around them, and so it gives them a good 360 degrees of awareness. Okay, I missed some comments here. Monty Python references 70s movie. Why is very favorite? Yeah, what's the terminal velocity of a sparrow carrying a coconut? Which I don't know. I don't know either. But my favorite color is green. And my quest is to carve bunnies. In case anyone was wondering. Hares. Hares. My quest is to carve hares. Whoa, it is 6:50. Okay, we got one more quiz question, and we're going to go over all of them, and then you can put your answers in the comments below. Okay, the question is... Yep. The question is, why was the bunny sad? Why was the bunny sad? Okay, think about that. I'll give it just a minute. And once that minute is done, I am going to go over the questions one more time. He was unhappy. Yeah, and that is the only way that I think that is the max speed of a jackrabbit when it is attacking, because they always attack from the sky. They are a vantage seeking animal. Typically, if you're walking in a canyon or under an overpass, near the base of a skyscraper, these are all places that jackrabbits like to pounce from. So, keep your wits about you, because once they start getting to terminal velocity, that's when they become real dangerous. He was unhappy. Okay. Alright, let's go over this one more time because I am running out of time today. Okay, the first question on the list. Where do rabbits go when they are not feeling well? Oh, I should also mention, if you're just joining the chat, the reward for today's quiz or answers is 2 lovely chopsticks. This is terrible lighting or coloring on this camera, so I'm going to go back to this one. 2 Purple Heart chopsticks, handmade, hand carved by me. And if you get the most questions out of the people that are in this chat correctly answered, then you will be getting these sent to you free of charge. Okay, sorry. I'm going to go over these questions one more time because I'm running out of time here. Okay, where do rabbits go when they are not feeling well? Question number 2. What is a rabbit's favorite type of music? Rabbit or hare? Question number 3. What do you call a transformer bunny? And question number 4. Why was the bunny sad? Okay, if you could answer all of these in one chat, just like 1 through 4, that would be greatly appreciated, because I don't want to go through all of the chats. Urgent care. Oh, because he was behind. All in one chat, please. One text. Labeled 1 through 4 would be great. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna keep carving because I still have 4 more minutes and my hair is crazy. This is what happens. You get out of the shower and it's humid and hot because I have a swamp cooler and my hair gets all frizzy. Anywho, continue to carve the rabbit, the hare, not a rabbit. I'm never gonna be able to remember that, because he was behind. Remember to put all 4 of your answers into the chat all together. All 4. So that they are easily legible. if you want to win the chopsticks, or if you don't want to win the chopsticks, but you want to have funny answers because you're a funny person. Do his hair clip. Your hair is messed up. Lol. Secret fifth question. Why was Jacob so sad? His hair was messed up. Oh, come on. Alright, we didn't get far enough in this one, but that's okay. We got another little bunny here. Okay, no one has answered yet. And that's okay, because there's still 5 minutes left. Bad hair day? Maybe. It's another good one. Another good one. Oh, I need to do something about this. I'll just carve what I can. It's always good. Good practice just to carve what you can carve. Bad hair day. What was the question? Why was a rabbit bunny sad? Why was the bunny sad? What do you call a transformer bunny? Rabbit's favorite type of music. And where do rabbits go when they're not feeling well? So, roadrunners are on a watch list for possible getting into that like danger zone for endangered. Great horned owls are also just getting off that list. Jackrabbits are not on any list. They are one of the few animals that live out in the desert that have been thriving even with the changing ecosystem. They just continue to live and survive pretty much no matter what. And they are also animals that, even though they're doing well, people do hunt them and eat them consistently. Who's on first? Who is on first? I don't know. Everyone's answered questions, but no one's putting them in chronological answering order. I know that's not the word, but that's what I'm going with. Okay, I'm going to end this chat. Hair split, hair cord. That's right. Not sure what answer is that. Steve Garvey. I don't even know where this is going anymore. Anyways, one last hair story. So out here we have the Serrano, the Chumueve, the Mojave. They're different tribes that live out here, and they still are living out here. And in this area, before different pioneers, different settlers came in, the way that they would hunt would be to get these large scores of rabbits and jackrabbits. Was they would come together as different tribes, and they would basically create these mile-like diameter circles, these huge circles with people spread out every 10, 50 feet, just making this giant circle. And they would have drummers that would walk along the circle, and everyone would, in their hands, be carrying 2 different clubs. And so, as the drummers beat their drums, the different members of the tribe would start to walk in, making the circle smaller and smaller and smaller. And as it became smaller, different jackrabbits would run towards the center. They would run out to the sides. Some would get away, but what didn't really matter, because eventually they would create this large human net that the jackrabbits couldn't get away from, because the humans would be no more than a few feet away from each other. And so as all the rabbits were pushed to the center of the circle and they started to run and get out, they would just get clubbed by the tribal members. And because some would escape, these areas would continue to thrive, but they would do enough damage to the population where they were able to eat, but not enough damage that the population would cease to exist. And so throughout the year, they would continue to do these basically hunting migrations where they would make these large circles and just take out a chunk of the population. That would feed them for a while. Then they'd move on and basically farm these huge 100-mile prairies in a way that they were able to feed tribes for long periods of time. Yeah, and that's just a little bit of history out here of a way that these animals were hunted and also maintained by the local tribes in a way that brought them together. All right, well, oh, I'm out of the frame. Bye-bye. Oh, boy. Okay, great information. All right, put in your answers now or forever hold your peace. If I don't see the 4 answers, I'm going to assume that you are not going to answer. And in that case, I will just... No problem, Michael. I love doing them. I love talking about critters. I love talking about the desert. It is a great time for me. Thank you. I will leave the chat open for a bit longer, but I'm going to end this stream. So feel free to put your answers in. I don't know if the chat goes away if I end it, so I'm just going to move on to a stream of me Japanning a hand plane, and you can put in your answers if you want during that time. Remember, the questions are: where do rabbits go when they're not feeling well? Favorite type of music? What do you call a transformer bunny? And why was the bunny so sad? All right, with that, please put your answers in one chat right here, right now, at the end of this chat, so that I don't have to go through and read them, because I am tired today. All right, thanks for being here. Enjoy 20 minutes of me painting a piece of metal.